a few weeks ago, I talked about the Instagram's co-founders going back out again,
Yes.
launching Artifact, making that next startup after their, massive success. So I'll be talking about Airbnb doing the same thing. So Joe Gebbia,
Oh, no way.
yeah, so he's a co-founder of Airbnb, and he's launched a project called BackYard, which builds tiny net zero homes and known as backyards. So essentially, Airbnb has this innovation studio called Samara. So that's where the product has originated from, and Samara is now this. It's like a VC, not a VC. It's a firm on its own. So it's like he's made his own standalone company out of this. So
Is it like
it's
an
kind of
accelerator?
it's kind of separated. So
Yeah.
basically, it was a part of the innovation studio of Airbnb, and now it's split off to be its own startup.
Gotcha. Okay.
And him being the co-founder, I guess he can kind of do whatever he wants. So pretty cool.
Oh, wait, Samara, how does that relate to the backyard thing?
So Samara was like the innovation little hub inside Airbnb. It was always called Samara, and now it's taken out, and now BackYard is the project, and Samara is
company's
the name
called
of the
Samara.
company. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
understood. Gotcha.
So he started by launching two tiny net zero homes. So the goal there was to make tiny homes better for backyards. So they're prefab, and they allow for some additional affordable housing to your existing property, right? So there's 3 now that he's just launched a 2-bedroom. So they start at $289,000 for a studio, $329,000.
Are we talking US?
Yeah, in US.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is. It is a lot. But it's a very
Actually,
bougie.
heaps.
Yeah, it is. But it is a bougie concept. So
Well, it's net zero.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and so I think the way that it's all kind of designed and everything seems to be very Apple sort of vibe. So I think that's what they're trying to create, this kind of really premium brand version. So yeah, $289,000 for a studio, $329,000 for a 1-bedroom, and a 2-bedroom will be $369,000.
Oh my gosh.
Which includes installation in California. So
Okay.
it's they put about half of the cost in installation. So
Okay.
yeah. So the 3 sizes are 430 square feet, 550 square feet, and 690. So if that means nothing to you, that's 39, 51, and 64 square meters. So pretty small, but not too bad. I mean, 64 though is the 2-bedroom option, and that's like a 2-bedroom apartment. So that makes sense. So you can check them out on samara.com if you're following along at home. So in Australia, it's more of like a granny flat. It's just sits out the back. Part of the reason for the solution was housing affordability and a bit of a crisis around that. They're trying to make use of people's existing properties that have gone up a lot in value in California, and they have some spare backyard space, don't want to fully extend their house or whatever. So yeah, they're prefabbed. They're designed to use half the power of a similarly sized home, and they're supposed to generate power through solar panels on the roof, right? So it's a steel frame. It's 2-inch cladding. It's comes with 5 colors, and on the actual house, 2 colors on the roof.
Like, you know what 2-inch cladding means?
No, 2-inch cladding. And
what's the industry standard?
This big.
Yeah, but what's normal?
Yeah, that's normal. I don't know. Well, I don't know about. I can't speak for California, so
Okay,
that would be completely unfair. Yeah, you can add decks around the property, which is interesting. So they have like small decks around the glass doors that sort of are around the little backyard home. It'll generate enough power to offset the main power bill is part of it. So I guess it acts as a little power plant that you can plug back into your home. It's got all induction stovetop and electric ovens, and comes with a bathroom, obviously, space for your little washer and dryer in there. They've got like a little open living room, kitchen space. You can actually see the top-down view on them, which is interesting on the site. It's heaps funny that they call it such a Silicon Valley bubble, because the tab where you see what the sizes of the homes are is called tech specs.
Yeah.
Which is which is very funny because it's a home. So Joe was traveling and he saw he's the co-founder. He visited a lot of tiny homes as research, and he found that the main things that were annoying in tiny homes was low ceilings and noisy air conditioners. So they addressed the those with having high ceilings in like this traditional like kind of triangle roof style, right? They've got a quiet air conditioning system with hospital grade filtering. Overall, I think I think tiny homes are a really cool idea. I think this is
It's a very different play from him, isn't it? Like this is very much just physical products as opposed to SaaS.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, yeah, it's not a consumer product, is it? It's not for everyone to use and go and travel and yeah, and make a cool app. It's
Yeah, it's very interesting.
very much a physical good. Yeah, I think it's a really cool idea. Yeah, they're trying to sort of make that Apple 3 product lines, only a few variations. So that's their primary move there. I think it's pretty cool. I think if they can kind of, it's more productizing the space sort of thing. So with a builder, you'll typically have a small builder that will do this sort of thing, and it'll take, you can go through every option and you can decide what you want, and you can, it'll be really specific and tailored to you. And so with a builder, that's kind of what I feel like that is what a lot of people would want. And so I think he's kind of bringing out this thing where it's like, no, just consider it. It's like a laptop, or it's like it's like a pair of headphones. We've got two options. We've got three
Yeah,
options. Or
I think
yeah,
I think I think that is right. So I'm just looking at the thing that I thought was like, surely this is already a fairly saturated market in California specifically. And so I'm looking at a few different competitors, and your point is exactly right. Like all of them, when you get to like pricing options and stuff like that, it has so many different options, and it talks about getting a free quote, like send us an email, give us a call, blah 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 blah, which is a big barrier to actually just entry. Whereas what you're saying is true. Like it's literally like you go onto their website, Samara website, and it's literally like, as you say, 3 options. Oh, cool. There's the price there. I know what I'm in for. It is kind of expensive, but at least I understand what it is. And then off you go. You're right. It seems easy.
yeah. So there could be. There's definitely pros and cons around that. So yeah, very interesting. Yeah. So that's it so far. I like the idea. Hopefully it works. But it seems like something where if you were really picky, you would kind of go for an individual builder, and you would talk to someone that you know, and you would do that. I mean, I guess part of the issue there as well is like you have to know someone, you get a recommendation, and you get the builder. Whereas this is like, oh, this is this cool product. It's like a product instead of a building, So yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. There you go. I think the point to be taken away there for me is, you listen to a lot of business commentators or, business performance people, and they talk about finding your niche, sticking to it, getting good at that thing, whatever. And this defies that a little bit in that if that was the case, like you look at the Instagram people and they're basically leveraging the skills that they've learned in one project and just applying it to a slightly different issue. Whereas this is very different. This is arguably applying considerably different skill sets to a different issue. And so it is cool though. Like I think it's encouraging because I like the idea of like just doing lots of different things. And so sometimes it's a bit, I don't know. I feel like sometimes it's a bit sad when people are like, "Oh, you got to just do your niche." I'm like, "Oh, it's boring though."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, it goes with his Airbnb. Like, it's like it feeds into his Airbnb
No, for
concept
sure.
as well, because the main people can live in the back house, and they can rent out their front, or they can rent out the backyard, and they can live in their house. So yeah.
Yes, you could imagine there would certainly be the people who are building these granny flats would certainly be marketed as like potential Airbnb hosts in the future. Yeah, you can
For
definitely
sure.
see it being like an augmented product here, where they certainly relate. So yeah, it's interesting. Nice stuff.